If you're a speaker, trainer, coach, or consultant, this is for you. Many of you ask me, how do I get paid to speak? When the question you should really be asking me is, how do I position myself powerfully to get paid to speak? Don't worry, I got you. And I'm going to answer that question in my Authority Elevator Masterclass. 90 minutes, me and you, I am going to show you the 3-step framework that you need to implement in your business right now to be looked at as a highly paid, sought after speaker. We're going to talk about messaging, marketing, and monetization. All you have to do is click on the link. It's either under this message or somewhere on this page. Click on the link, go to authorityelevator.com and grab your seat. You want to make sure that you're in the place. Stop asking the wrong questions. The question is not, how do I get paid to speak? The question is, how do you position yourself to get paid to speak? And you'll get that answer in the Authority Elevator. So come join me in the next one. Click on the link or just go to authorityelevator.com and grab your seat today. Welcome to another edition of the Speaking of Speaking podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Charles Collins. Now, if you've been out in these speaking streets, submitting conference applications, pitching to corporations, trying to get on stages wherever and whenever you can, and all you are hearing is crickets, I think I know why. I know why. It is because you cannot answer certain questions. And it's not necessarily that people are asking you those questions, it's that you have not answered these questions for yourself. And as I work with speakers, as I work with trainers and coaches and consultants who want to get paid to speak or who want to leverage speaking to get paid, I've found that the inability to answer these questions for yourself first makes it really hard for you to answer these questions when you're in a sales conversation or when you are responding to something, for example, like a call for speakers or a call for presentations, when these conferences are looking for their next slate of speakers. You have to remember that when you're submitting that form, it's you and hundreds of other people. Sometimes it's thousands of other people. And even when you are talking to somebody who's in the corporate space, you might not be going up against hundreds of other people, but you might be going up against one other person or a couple of other people. And therefore, the ability to position yourself well and position yourself powerfully is the thing that is going to put you over the edge. Some of you think that it's just pricing is going to make you the person who wins out. And so you lower your prices, but that's not it. You could have the highest price and you can still be chosen. So what I want to do with you today is to go through 10 questions that you need to be able to answer for yourself, so that when you are submitting these applications, when you are pitching, when you are having these sales conversations, that you know exactly who you are, what problems you solve, who you solve them for, meaning that you have positioned yourself so powerfully that you are making yourself the no-brainer choice for your potential clients. So let's talk about what these 10 questions are. Go get however you take notes, whether it's on your phone, get pen and paper, I don't care what you do, but you need to take notes. And I want you to be able to answer these questions. And I want you to be able to answer these questions, not at a surface level. Really take some time to think about these questions. And then I want you to let me know in the comments which ones you hadn't thought about, which ones you need to work on. Let me know so I can just help you out. Okay. All right. So let's first things first. What do you speak about? This one seems simple enough, but what I mean by that is not what is your overall topic. So I don't want to know that you speak about leadership or healthcare or wellness or financial literacy or any of that stuff. What really do you speak about? Like, what is your topic? So, for example, my topic is around high stakes communication, where I work with leaders, speakers, women to ensure that they have the tools and the skills to speak and communicate with clarity, confidence, and credibility. So if somebody asks me, what do I speak about? That's one of the things that I speak about. I also speak about public speaking, how to help people speak again, confidently, credibly, and with clarity. But it's just about public speaking. So I could say public speaking. But if I give a little bit more, then people have context within which to understand the topic that I'm speaking about. So you don't just want to say leadership, you don't just want to say, the overall category, because then you haven't differentiated yourself in any way. They don't know you different from whoever is out here. Great, you talk about leadership. Okay. Right? So I want you to really think about, yes, you might be under the leadership umbrella, but what specifically do you speak about under the leadership umbrella? And the next time somebody asks you, what do you speak about? I want you to give them that deeper answer, not I speak about leadership, I speak about finance, I speak about wellness. Okay. Question number 2. What are the learning outcomes? This is particularly important when you are doing conference submissions. Conferences, so associations like SHRM, so the Society of Human Resources Management, and Association of Training and Development, all these associations, they have standards and they have knowledge. I don't even know what to call them, but they have all these standards that you have to be, that when you're giving education to their members, they have to align. So you have to align with their educational standards. Why? Because these associations are in the business of providing continuing education to their members. And so there must be some type of standard by which the education is coming in, and there are some knowledge gaps that need to be filled or knowledge gaps that need to be elevated or enhanced. And so they're looking for speakers who have topics that align with those knowledge gaps or those learning standards. So when you are filling out a conference form, one of the things they'll ask you about is learning objectives. You have to know what these are. So when you are building your talk, that's one of the things when we're working with clients to build their talks, we work on what are the learning outcomes? What are people going to get out of the thing that you are speaking about? So this is why, again, you need to understand that it's not just a leadership topic. Like, what is the specific topic that you are speaking about? What is the specific thing that you're speaking about, so that you can understand what are those learning outcomes? If you cannot share what the learning outcomes are, and they're usually looking for 3 to 5, you'll never get selected. And though corporations don't specifically ask you for learning outcomes, they are listening for that when they are in a sales conversation with you. Number 3, who is your ideal client? Now, if you've watched some of the earlier videos, you'll know that I talk about your paying audience and your consuming audience. When you are trying to get on stage, obviously, you are really focused on who's paying you, who's hiring you, who's the decision maker. You need to know who exactly that is. It's not just anybody, it's somebody in particular in the organization. If you are in, leadership, then you might be looking at the HR department. If you are a person who talks about sales, you might be looking at the VP of marketing. Or the VP of sales. If you're talking about something that's more operational, you might want to talk to the CFO. You have to know specifically who that person is. If it's on the conference side, it might be, depending on the size of the association, you might be speaking directly to the executive director, or you might be looking for who's in charge of meetings and events, or who's in charge of the education for that particular association. So you're going to have to do research to really understand who your ideal client is, because if you're just reaching out willy-nilly, you're still not going to get on these stages. You're not going to be able to close these corporate contracts. You also have to know who's your consuming audience, because just because there's a conference or just because there's a call for speakers doesn't mean that you should submit to that, because the people in the audience might not be your audience, right? So you need to know who your ideal client is, both from the perspective of a paying audience and from a consuming audience. Number 4, What problem or problems are you solving? You need to understand what problems both your paying and your consuming audiences have. And you need to be able to articulate those and also be able to listen for those when they are speaking to you. So it's not the problem that you want to solve, right? That's part of it. It's the problem that they have that they need solved and that you are the solution for. And so, really understanding the intricacies of that, right? Yes, sometimes we want to go out there and we want to solve this particular problem. That's not necessarily the problem that your ideal client has. So you have to listen to the way that they frame the problem and think about whether or not you have the expertise and the desire to solve that problem. And then really start honing in on that when you're talking, when you're on social media, when you're on lives, when you're doing anything, when you're out negotiating, networking with people. You want to make sure that you understand that problem so that you can hear it and hear it in their words. And because it's not always going to come out the same way. So you have to really have a deep level of understanding of their problems and understand that they will communicate that problem in different ways. And so you have to turn on your listening to be able to hear that. Number 5, what is your unique promise of value? Meaning, what is the value exchange that you are going to give to these organizers or these decision makers in order for them to want to put you on their stage or put you in front of their employees? They're not looking for surface level. Conferences used to be that if you're a good rah-rah speaker and you could get people going, you will be good. Even in a breakout session. They usually reserve that for keynotes, getting people hyped up. And the breakout sessions, they used to be before that. It wasn't so much that they were looking for experts or expertise. It's like, can you get these people going? Can you get people in a room? Can you get people to purchase tickets? That's gone. They're looking for people with expertise. Why? Again, because people join these associations, right? So specifically talking about conferences right now, people join these associations so that they can get their credits. And yes, they'll be there for the fun. They'll look for that in the keynote. But if you are a breakout speaker, breakout session speaker, they are looking for value exchange. Same thing in a corporation. If they are going to put you in front of their employees and they're going to take time out of their day where employees could be being productive in other ways and making the company money, you better have a value, right? You better have something that you can say, this is worth pulling people out to come and listen to me. There is a value exchange. You are going to get something in return, not just me speaking, but beyond me speaking, you're going to get something in return. Number 6, what is the transformation, right, that you provide? And when I say this, I want you to understand that the transformation has to be related to the transformation that they desire, not the transformation you want for them, the transformation that they desire. Because as a speaker, your responsibility is to understand their current state. So we just talked about problems, that's their current state. And then their desired state, that's the transformation. So you have to be able to get them to that desired state. That's the transformation that you're looking for. It's not what you want for them, right? It's not what you wanted for your own self. It's what they truly desire. That's the transformation. And you have to understand that in order to be able to communicate with these decision makers and make sure that they feel heard and understand that there is value in hiring you and putting you in front of their employees or putting you on stage. Number 7, what is your unique mechanism? Whether people call it a methodology, a system, a process, a framework, steps, whatever, it is the way that you do the thing. It's the way that you take them from their current state problem to their desired state, right? Transformation. How is it that you get them there? What is the unique way that you do that? Now, frameworks could be acronyms. You hear people use acronyms all the time, right? So sometimes You'll have people say, it's like I used to do my mogul method. And what does mogul stand for, right? Message, offer, game plan, unfactor, and leverage. And so those 5 things are the ways that I would do something. It's a 5 ways that I would get you from over here, your current state, to over here, your desired state. What is your unique mechanism? It doesn't have to be an acronym, however, it could just be a name. For example, we have our signature talk black print. That is the methodology that we use to help clients to craft their signature talks. So under that black print, there's many things that we do, but that's what it's called. No one else has the signature talk black print. What is the unique way that you get clients from their current state to their desired state? Number 8, what is the delivery method that you're going to use? What do I mean by that? Are you going to be a keynote speaker, which means that you get on stage, you get them going, you usually tell them mostly the what and the why. You don't necessarily get too much into the how, even though keynote speakers are moving more to the how, because all of these organizations are like, no, we need you to get these people activated. We need you to give people something that they can do, something that they can take away other than, fleeting inspiration and motivation. So are you going to do it as a keynote? Keynote speakers mean that you get on stage, you do what you got to do, it might be 15 to 60 minutes, and you're done, right? That's a keynote speaker. Are you going to do it as a workshop? So as a workshop, it's usually anywhere from 90 minutes on up, right? And in a workshop, sometimes you have workbooks, but it's more interactive if you're doing it as a workshop. Are you going to do it as a consultant? Meaning that you're going to come in, you're going to assess some issue that they have or many issues that they have. You're going to give them a game plan, and you might monitor them over a period of time. So consulting is a longer period of time, and you're not necessarily giving a speech. However, you still need to have a signature presentation so that you can let them know that you are the person who can get them from current state to the desired state. So you want to know, how is it that you're going to deliver what it is that you're promising, the value that you said that you can give them. How is it that you're going to deliver that? You need to understand that this understanding, whether you're a keynote speaker, a workshop warrior, as I call them, or a consultant, you have to understand that, because it really relates to how you price and package your offer. So that's important. Number 9, what is your unfactor? Meaning, what is it that makes you unlike anybody else, unfuckable with, just unapologetic about what it is that you do? What is your differentiator? There's a speaker, her name is Sally Hogshead. Sally Hogshead. That's a lot. And she says, different is better than better. So what is it that makes you different? There's always going to be somebody who's better, somebody who's been doing it longer, somebody who, has been out here 20 years or has more degrees than you or more certifications or whatever. But what is it that makes you different? In the sea of leadership speakers, in the sea of, financial speakers and relationship speakers and DEI speakers and all the speakers, what is it that makes you different? And I want you to think about not just the delivery, how you deliver, but what is it about you that makes you different? For example, in this space of working with speakers and working with leaders and entrepreneurs, what makes me different, part of my differentiator, is that I'm a trial lawyer. And I was a trial lawyer for decades. Not only was I a trial lawyer, I was a mediator, an arbitrator, an educator, right? I taught at law school. I've taught at University of Miami, University of Tampa, St. Thomas University School of Law. Those things are really important, especially if I'm saying to you that I am a high stakes communications expert and strategist. And if I'm thinking about, okay, well, what makes me different in terms of teaching speakers? I'm an award-winning TEDx speaker. I'm a keynote speaker. Those are the things you want to think about. What are your differentiators? What makes you unlike anybody else? So in the sea of people who talk about communication and communication skills, what's different about me is that I understand both the strategy of speaking and the mechanics of speaking, and I blend those two things together. I tried cases in federal court and state court. And so the ability to communicate with people at all different levels, I used to pick juries and do all the things, right? And argue before judges. All of those things, the ability to bring information together, to get a lot of information and have to bring it together, to review it, to synthesize it, to analyze it. Those are all differentiators. And I want you to start thinking about what is it about you that is your unfactor. So that's number 9. And number 10, to wrap it up, what is your only statement? What do I mean by that? What is it that you can say that only you can do? Now, you might think there's nothing in this world that I could just be like, I'm the only one who can do it. You can figure out what you think that you're the only one who can do it and just say it, right? Because there are people out here who are like, we're the only ones who do this, and you're like, no, you're not. But guess what? They think they are, and they've said it, and people believe them because they're out there saying it. So I need you to think about, what is it that you are the only one who can do that, right? I'm the only one who knows how to do it this way. I'm the only one who has a signature talk black print, right? So you can even use your unique mechanism to create that only statement. I'm the only one. I am the only one who has a signature talk black print to help you to craft talks in the way that I help you craft talks. Nobody else does. There's lots of people out here helping you develop your talks, but I'm the only one who does it the way that I do. So these 10 questions are vitally important for you, not just to be able to spit things out, but to really understand who you are and the value that you bring to the table as a keynote speaker, as a workshop warrior, as a corporate trainer, as a consultant, as a coach. It's vitally important. So these, whether you're going to be speaking on stages or you're, to get paid to speak on stages, or you're using these stages so that you can get your corporate clients, you still have to, get your coaching clients, you still have to be able to answer these 10 questions. So that's it for now. I want to know your thoughts. I want to know what questions first, tell me if I got A+ students in here who know all the answers to these questions. And then for those of you who don't know the answers to these questions, don't worry about it. Here's your chance. Here's your opportunity to now go back through. So go back through the video, stop the video after each question and really think about it, or write them all down and go take time to really go through these questions. I promise you, if you do this, you will see a marked difference in the way that you show up and then the way that people will respond to you. So until next time, make sure that you subscribe to the podcast, turn on your notification bell so that you never, ever miss an episode, and go check out the other videos. I spend a lot of time really helping you understand not just the talent side of speaking, but also the business of speaking. So until next time, take care.